You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Cesar Almeida takes on Abdul Razak Alhassan this Saturday on the main card. And I'm going to break down each of these fighters and give you my prediction on how I think this fight is going to play out. I think a lot of people are thinking that this is going to be a striker versus striker fight, but I'm going to make my argument that I don't think it's going to play out that way. So Cesar Almeida, great striker, former Glory kickboxer, has a win over Alex Pereira. Anytime anybody talks about this guy, that's all that they can talk about is how he has one out of 3 wins out of 3 fights with Alex Pereira. But dude's good on the feet, elite striker that you could say, but this isn't kickboxing. This is MMA, and we've seen this guy struggle with his grappling defense and his takedown defense for his entire career, and that's 4 fights now in the UFC, including his Dana White's Contender Series fight. Abdul Razak Alhassan, very powerful dude, very stocky, 5'10", 185. He's got legs like an NFL running back, so comes from a judo background, nicknames Judo Thunder, so you know that he's got a lot of power in the hips. Will shoot takedowns, which I'll get to in a sec, but not the best MMA record. He's got a lot of fights, but I think he's like 12-6, but he's only losing to top tier talent. Chaos Williams, Joaquin Buckley, people like that. So Joe Pyfer, so very, very powerful, has a lot of first round finishes, very tough dude that I've noticed, got a very good game face, taking a lot of damage leg kicks from Claudio Ribera, a lot of punches from Joe Pyfer, but just doesn't really seem to phase the guy. So I'm not sure if somebody like Cesar Almeida, even though they are very technical and have a lot of experience, if they're going to be able to hurt somebody like Abdul Razak Alhassan. We saw him in his fight. He throws really good leg kicks. Like I said, huge legs, beating up the leg of Claudio Ribeiro, really hurting Joe Pyfer's legs to where, he was shooting for takedowns and ended up getting the finish. But I do think that Abdul Razak's going to implement that in his game plan. I think he's going to be very tough for Cesar Almeida to hurt on the feet. I think that he's going to be throwing big bombs as well, keeping him honest. And I think that he's going to be chewing up his leg as well. Cesar Almeida likes to throw quick little kicks, and I think that Alhassan can eat those and deal even more damaging kicks. But I think that Abdul Razak Alhassan is an MMA fighter and Cesar Almeida is a kickboxer, and I think that's why Alhassan is going to win this fight. I think that he's willing to shoot takedowns. We've seen that in his career. He is willing to shoot takedowns to keep you guessing, to open up his strikes. We saw him do it against Joaquin Buckley. I think that he won that fight. He lost a split decision, but I think he won that fight. He took him down and dominated the 3rd round with his takedowns. Same with Claudio Ribeiro. Started shooting takedowns, opened up his striking, ended up finishing him in the 2nd round. I just think that Cesar Almeida is a specialist, and it's 2025, and you can't be a specialist anymore. You can't be 37 in the UFC with 7 fights and have 0 grappling defense. This isn't 1994. You're not a Gracie. We've seen the likes of Crone Gracie and Ryan Halls. These specialists who just they come up across these guys who have been doing it all for 10, 15 years. I mean, you have anybody in MMA right now who didn't grow up wrestling or isn't a collegiate wrestler, they've still got 10, 12 years of wrestling in their back pocket because they've been training MMA. And I see Abdul Razak Alhassan implementing his takedowns, winning rounds, or using it to open up his powerful striking on the feet. I don't see him against an elite kickboxer like Almeida just standing there and going tit for tat with him. Nobody's going to win that fight. And we've seen lesser fighters like Ior Potaria and Dylan Buka have a lot of success shooting takedowns against this guy. The thing is, it seems like those guys do start to gas, especially Dylan Buka, who's awful. But and we have seen Alhassan gas as well. But I feel like with him training up in Colorado now, Elevation Fight Team, I feel like he's only going to be improving. And he has been training a lot of grappling because he was fighting Joe Pyfer and Cody Brundage the last 2 fights, who are, very good grapplers. So I expect him to be showing improvements in that area. He's always had the striking. I wouldn't count him out in a pure striking match against Cesar Almeida because I feel like he's tough as nails, and you don't see Cesar Almeida really, one-hitter quittering anybody in the UFC, so to speak, so far. And he hasn't really been fighting the best competition. So I think that Alhassan is going to mix in his takedowns. He's going to be landing his damaging strikes as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to get Almeida to drop his hands, thinking that the takedown's coming, that he lands something powerful up top and, hurts him, puts him out. So Alhassan is a sizable dog right now. I think that that's going to start to close as we get closer to the fight. I think last time I looked, he was I think Almeida was a minus 280 favorite. So I would recommend, if you're going to be, putting anything on this fight, to do it now, because I think as this fight gets closer, people are going to realize the skill gap that we have here in terms of MMA skill set versus striking skill set. And so I think that Alhassan is a very good dog in this fight. I think he can spoil the show for Cesar Almeida. Alhassan is 39 years old, but Cesar Almeida, he's 36. So neither of these guys are, spring chickens, but I do think that Alhassan has the skills on the feet, and he can dictate where this fight takes place. He'll be shooting takedowns. He'll be beating at the legs with Cesar Almeida, not allowing him to get his footwork going. And I think that he gets the underdog win in this one. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, but I feel like this is a very good underdog pick for this card. And I feel like the odds are only going to swing, maybe not completely into Alhassan's favor, but definitely make him less of a dog as we get closer. Thanks, guys.